This program was brought to you by Organo Gold. Organo Gold is a health and wellness company that provides healthy coffees, teas, and chocolate. All one has to do is consume the available coffee, teas, chocolate, and other products to get all the available benefits. One can also share these products with others to help them improve their health as well.
And now, Fairfax Breakfast Club with your host, Basil Lemba.
Welcome to the Fairfax Breakfast Club show. My name is Basil Lemba and I will be your host. The Fairfax Breakfast Club is a weekly program in which we bring to you valuable and workable know-how you can use to improve your networking skills and grow your business. We always start the show with a quote. Today's quote is, "To have another language is to possess another soul." And that is from Charlemagne. With us today in the studio, we have someone who helps children learn other languages and head a language center called Language Stars. His name is Craig Markley. Hello, Craig.
Hello, Basil. Thank you for having me.
Good. It's a pleasure to have us. So tell me, how did you get to become, what stirred you into directions of languages, of Language Center?
Yeah, there's always a great story where we wind up in life. Isn't that the truth? This is no exception. As you know, I'm currently the Fairfax Center Director for Language Stars. But prior to that, I spent 5 years in Seoul, South Korea, working in elementary education. That's correct. And went over to Asia with one mission in mind, to help children learn a foreign language. And in that case, it was to learn English. And we worked in a full immersion capacity, helping little Korean students between the ages of 5 and 12 learn to master English. And it was a thrill. So when I returned to the United States, I was quickly hired by Language Stars, which is a premier provider of foreign languages for children here in Washington, D.C. and Chicago.
Okay, very good. Tell us a bit about your center.
Grown very quickly. There are 7 Language Stars centers in the Washington, D.C. area, of which I am the center director at Fairfax. And we opened up in August of 2012, and it's grown very rapidly. We only focus on children, Basil. No adults, just children ages 1 to 10. And we like to say that's in the peak window of opportunity when people can learn a language best.
Okay. While you mentioned that, let me show, we have a video here for you. So that will give you a little idea in the chart, even when it's talking about age from 1 to 10. Here it is.
Language Stars is fun foreign language for kids.
At Language Stars, our mission is to revolutionize how and when children learn a foreign language to foster a new generation of multilingual Americans. We offer programs in Spanish, French, Mandarin, German, and Italian. Early language programs also improve problem solving, math skills, test scores, and self-confidence.
And Language Stars helps us understand other cultures.
The results speak for themselves.
你好，我叫麦海琳，我很小以前是个 Language Stars 的学生。I've just started at Yale University, and I'm continuing to pursue Mandarin as well as an overarching interest in international studies. It all started at Language Stars, and I'm so grateful. Merci, 谢谢.
How do we do it?
Fun immersion.
Fun Immersion is Language Stars' unique method that focuses on play-based education during the window of opportunity between birth and adolescence, when the brain is naturally programmed to acquire any language. Fun Immersion mixes high-energy movement, music, arts and crafts, snack time, and more. Students aren't just sitting around and memorizing vocabulary. Our class sizes are small, never more than 8 children, ensuring maximum exposure with our dynamic team of native-speaking teachers from more than 20 countries around the world. And Language Stars offers classes year-round for kids from ages 1 to 10, and you can start anytime. There are even summer camps, both day camps and overnights. Learning a foreign language will never again be this easy or this fun. So, see why we've been trusted to teach more than 20,000 children since 1998. Experience fun foreign language for kids at Language Stars!
Excellent. So you've seen the video, so that gives you a good idea, a good...
high energy, isn't it? Like to have fun. Kids want to play, don't they?
That's right, that's right. I guess that's right. You want to interest them, you got to play, because if not play, they might find it boring. It might be too much for them, I guess, I imagine.
Absolutely. The whole premise behind Language Stars and why it has been so successful and winning awards year after year is the concept of fun immersion. And the theory goes, if you make it fun for children, they want to go. And if they want to go, they'll participate. And if they participate, they learn. So the learning is a byproduct of creating a wonderful atmosphere where kids can feel safe and comfortable, and at the backbone are dynamic native-speaking teachers from around the world. The teachers are fabulous. They love children. They're high energy, and they can bring out the best in children and put it in an immersion environment where kids participate and they learn by doing. It's all experiential.
Interesting. Well, maybe we should get the adult to do the same thing then.
Well, you know, it's funny. We talk about that, and we often get phone calls and inquiries saying, could I take the class at Language Stars? And of course, as a center director, my job is to break it softly to them and say, I'm sorry, unfortunately, you're over the age of 10. So it's probably not going to work out at our center. But the concept really remains the same. If you put a person, whether it's a child or an adult, in an environment where that language is being spoken, we adapt. We learn, isn't that right? You speak multiple languages, you know all about this.
I try to.
Absolutely. and what's interesting, Basile, you know, on that note is that if you start the children young, it's such a great time because then when they get older, it's not like it was ever a foreign language. They always knew it. They always remember speaking some Spanish or speaking some French or German or, in our case, Mandarin Chinese. And we teach all four, plus Arabic here in the Washington, D.C. market. And every day we get a request for another language. And we can't teach all of them, but we do our best to provide a really good base that children can tap in and learn from. And many of the children are learning multiple languages. They don't just do one, they do 2 or 3. We even have some children doing 4 different languages
at the same time?
At the same time at Language Stars. It's rather remarkable.
Now, I have a very, very good question for you, at least I hope so. How do you explain that they can pick it up much easily earlier between 1 and 10 than later on? How do you explain that?
Well, very good question, by the way, and we spend a lot of our time educating parents that inquire and say, well, why is that? The human brain is an interesting thing, and when it's so young, it's developing, and it takes in everything, and it's almost accelerated. So anything we learn at those peak years between 1 to 10 is strong, and it really resonates, and it takes a deep root. So the key, and that's more of a psychological phenomenon. That's just something that all people do, irrespective of whether it's language or something else. We remember the things best that we learn young. So it's so important to start the children as young as possible. Our programs start at age 1, and we go up to age 10. So it's really between 1 and 10 that we have found, psychologists have suggested, those are the peak learning years, which we call the window of opportunity. So parents are well advised to take advantage of that and use time on their side, because there's diminishing returns later. And unfortunately, historically, in the United States at least, many of us, myself included, were introduced to foreign language learning later, when we were in our teenage years. And there's so many more distractions at that time in our life, and acquiring a language has really already happened. We know our native language. In my case, it was English. So when they present a book to you and say, learn this, now it really puts you back a little bit. It says, wow, this is very different than anything I've ever done before. As opposed to introducing it young, well, it's fun, you don't have any resistance, it's a new thing, and there's no concept of easy or hard. There's no judgment. Children want to play. So if you do it while they're young, they not only learn it better, they have more fun doing it, and they retain it better and longer.
Interesting. Now, I have another question. How do you learn at age 1?
Very good question. Object identification. We like to say that we teach the foreign language the same way people learn their native language. If you think about it, a child is born into the world. We take it home, we look at the child. It's not as though we ignore it. We look at the baby from the first moment it's born. You're such a beautiful boy. You're such a sweet girl. And we have a constant stream of language that's going to that child. We're not expecting dialogue. We're not expecting back and forth, asking questions and answering. But that child right away is hearing that, hearing the sounds, hearing the tones. Object identification. Perhaps something's in your hand, you're saying the word, the child sees that. Their mind is going to draw a connection between perhaps an object and a word. So it's no different whether it's English or Spanish or Mandarin Chinese or French or German or any other language. The key is to start young, repeat it, and therefore the children will pick it up and retain that information. Starting at age 1 is great, and the classes are so fun because moms and dads can participate, they can come into Language Stars, take advantage of that environment, and have 60 minutes to bond with their child while they're giving them an invaluable skill that they can grow on for their future.
So at age 1, you tell them what? This is a table. You say, ça c'est la table, as they say in French, or is that how you teach them?
Well, to some degree. I'll imagine a room where you have a maximum of 8 students. So it really starts with controlling the environment. We're making it susceptible to learning. With children particularly, focus is going to be the challenge. A 1-year-old's behavior is going to be very different, per se, than a 10-year-old's behavior. And we like to say there's no wrong behavior. The child may be focused. They may be looking right at the teacher. They also might be crawling around in the corner, doing something totally different. But those words, that constant stream of language is getting into them. But by repeating things and making it fun, let's say you have a maraca, a little instrument in your hand, and you're shaking it. Maraca is a kind of a Spanish instrument. We've all heard it kind of has rice beans in there, and you shake it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
You see them often in performances. Well, that's a popular toy. Imagine a little child with a maraca in their hand. They want to experience things. Tactile stimulation, touching things, and by able to repeat the words while they're doing the activities, you can reinforce it. It takes time, it's a progressive thing. We like to say there's no microwave for learning a foreign language. It's progressive. The key, start young, have fun, and just expose your children while you can, as young as possible.
Interesting. That's interesting. All right. Well, unfortunately, you cannot take me in, otherwise I would have signed up.
Yeah, and we would love to have you. Potentially, you'd be a teacher at the Language Stars. We get so many calls, Basile, from wonderful people that want to get involved with the program. It always breaks my heart when I have to turn an adult away, but often they know somebody, they have either a grandchild, and that's actually one of the biggest trends we're seeing right now, grandparents getting involved in their grandchildren's education. And it's so wonderful that a lot of grandparents are calling Language Stars saying, I would like to do this for my son or my daughter, and then ostensibly for their grandchildren. It's such a neat way for a grandparent or a parent to do something meaningful right now, so their child or grandchild can have a great future, because this is a multicultural world where education and communication is the backbone of everything we do.
So I guess we can say for those who are looking for a business opportunity, there's an opportunity we can make it fun for the adults, being that they're knocking on your door. So they can create a similar program and then just develop it and handle their needs.
Well, you and I got to talking on a variety of topics, and I find you a very interesting story yourself, and we share a lot of commonalities in how we like to deal with people. And it's so important, whether you're dealing with a child or you're dealing with an adult, we really have to put the focus on the other person. Isn't that right?
That's right.
And really take a look at their circumstance, and when you take an interest in them, things flow very naturally. So I bring that up because a teacher in a classroom may have a curriculum that they follow, but they need to be adaptive and responsive to the room. Because if what they're doing at that moment isn't resonating with the audience, they need to adapt that. And a great teacher can do it on the fly. And that's the key. So whether we're dealing with adults in a business setting, or we're dealing with children in an educational context, the same rules apply. If we get the focus off of ourselves and on other people, and adding value to other people, making their life better, then things flow more smoothly.
Very good. We'll come back to that. I want you you came to a breakfast event last Thursday morning.
I did.
Yes. Why don't you tell the audience your experience at the breakfast event?
I enjoyed it. It was my first time actually being a guest. Thank you for including me. It's always a pleasure as the Language Stars Center Director to get out and meet members of the community. I've been rather active with the Chamber of Commerce and several networking organizations in Fairfax County, but this was the first time that you and I had a chance to sit down and enjoy it. And I found it fascinating, and particularly the people I met there, because it was very diverse. We had people from every possible industry gathered in one room, and the breakfast, of course, was complimentary. I can't argue with the person giving you breakfast first thing in the morning.
You're welcome.
But just to kind of feel that energy, everybody was success-oriented, motivated, looking to create a better life, make contacts, but do it in a genuine way. And right away, I started receiving phone calls and emails from people I met there, saying, so nice to spend time with you. And this can lead to friendships, and I'm already putting together some possible opportunities outside of that business breakfast that we can grow on. So was it worth my time? Absolutely. Just be sure to let me know when the next one is.
March 20th.
All right, I'll put that in the calendar. Happy to be there.
Folks, you can come too.
Yeah, they definitely should just come early, get a seat, because when I arrive, I'm going to become a little earlier next time.
Now you
got to get a chair, you got to get a table. You don't want to stand during breakfast. You want to have a nice seat, so that's the key.
That is correct. On that note also, we're having our next expo on June 20th. I would love to have you there, and you'll be there. You have a table there at one of our exhibitors.
That is correct. Language Stars is proud to be attending that event, and any way we can get the message out to the community and reach whether they be adults or, of course, we talked about grandparents or business leaders. You know, this is a mission, Basil. This is working together with the community. That includes government, businesses, families as a partnership. And as an educational provider in the marketplace, we're glad to play our role and do our part. So to attend an expo like the one you've put together sounds wonderful, and we look forward to being a part of it.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you're right. In getting back into languages, it's fundamental. It is so. I don't know if you know that I used to teach French at Nova Annandale.
You had mentioned that.
Yes, I taught French there for 6 or 7 years to adults, and it really opens horizons in a way that's just dramatic and increases understanding. A lot of the words in English languages are French. So when they do that, then you can recognize them, and also give you such a flexibility and adaptability. If you wind up traveling and what have you, or you're talking to somebody and then they happen to speak French, you find yourself being able to handle the situation or get into communication or sort out whatever it is, because you speak another language, be it French, be it Spanish, be it German, and what have you. It is, I guess the best word you can say is that it's a total, complete asset.
Massive asset, and it cannot be overlooked. Just as somebody who started traveling internationally in their 30s, I quickly had to learn different languages as I went around Asia. And I found that even if I could speak just the basics, some greetings, of course, hello and goodbye and basic questions, it really endears you to the people. They look at you differently because you took the time to learn words that are important to them. Here's somebody from another place taking the time and the effort to learn words that are really their culture. And there's no better way to make a friend than to learn about the things that are important to them and show interest in it. And the fact that you can speak French, and here you are in the United States, and put together a wonderful program like this, and a networking organization helping people do it, you recognize the value of communication, particularly in a marketplace like Washington, D.C. This is so multicultural.
Yes.
First thing I noticed when I arrived here back in 2012 is, wow, we have people from everywhere here. It's the neatest place in the world you could live, at least I think so, because it's never boring, and those communication skills, that you can make a lot of friends quickly, just learn the words that are their native language, and it can go a long way.
That's definitely something. Now I have another question for you. What is your biggest challenge in life as a person? What would you consider your biggest challenge?
Personally speaking, or from a business perspective?
From a business perspective.
Well, if you look at it in terms of the actual Language Stars, it's getting the message out there as efficiently as possible, as cost effectively as possible. You know, we're a small to mid-sized company that puts our focus and our resources on the quality of the education we provide to our students. What that means is you don't want to take a huge percentage of your budget and put it into advertising and promotions and burning that money. That could be going back to help the children.
Gotcha.
So you need to be very wise. You need to be very shrewd with how you use your money. It comes down to leverage. Get the word out efficiently. Now, fortunately, when you're language stars and you do a great job providing a product that people value, they're happy to spread the word. If you look at companies like Apple Computer and what Steve Jobs built there, really such evangelists. Have you ever talked to an Apple customer? They're not just a customer. They'll sit down for 2 hours and tell you why you need to buy Apple. They will absolutely berate you into buying an Apple product if you don't buy it. Amazing, isn't it? Well, to some degree, we want to follow that same path where if you delight, if you add so much value to your marketplace, in our case, our families, they will tell other people. And the same holds true on the flip side. If you don't do a good job, that message spreads quickly too. We've been very fortunate in our industry as a leader to focus on quality first. But the challenge, getting out the message as rapidly as possible to impact the lives of as many children as we can as early as possible.
Gotcha. Okay, got it. And what is the biggest success in your business?
Well, we opened up the FAIRFAX Center, which when I flew out from Korea and then to Chicago and then relocated to Washington, D.C. in August of 2012, we were a brand new facility. We were the newest facility in the Language Stars Corporation, and we had 0 students. Literally, you're brand new. You walk into a building, you turn the lock, you walk in, you look around, you say, we're going to make a language school out of this space. And we did it, and we rehabilitated it, we made it beautiful, and now we are one of the fastest growing centers in the entire region. Really? So absolutely, and it's by, again, the quality of the teaching and the families and just getting the word out there. But as far as the success, it's taking something that didn't exist and making it thrive.
Gotcha.
Focusing on the person you're helping, other people, and watching it take off. Let nature take its course. You can't microwave it and you can't force it. But does it feel good? You bet. Because at the end of the day, we're helping children learn a foreign language and lead a better life.
Definitely, and even more important, you're giving them a major asset. Because even later on in this area, or anywhere in today's country, if you speak Spanish or another language, let's say somebody is looking for a job or applying for a job and they speak English. Another person applying for the exact same job and then they speak English, Spanish, French, or whatever the case may be, the person who has speak the foreign language definitely has an edge.
Could not agree with you more. It's a competitive marketplace, particularly when the children of today, say between the ages of 1 to 10, enter into a global workforce. They will be competing internationally. And overseas, those children have made learning foreign languages a priority. So in the United States, we're playing a little bit of catch up. And I'm actually very impressed with some of the school systems and how they're bringing language stars into their school systems actually to run their foreign language programs. Yes, Basil, that's a huge trend right now. Schools are being honest and recognizing that they are not necessarily set up to run a language program with 4 or 5 different languages. So what they're doing is wise. They're looking around, finding a provider like Language Stars with an excellent reputation that can come into the school, supply a full curriculum, and help their students learn a fun foreign language. And that way the children win, the school wins, and everybody can focus on what they do best. But it's a very competitive marketplace in the future, and we're delighted to play a role in giving our students an advantage, a leg up.
I see. So how are you going to satisfy that demand of schools several schools asking you to go in?
Well, put it this way, it really starts with conversation and dialogue. When you sit down with anybody, whether it's your own center that you're running, you're having a dialogue with the local community to determine what is it that they want. If you're out there having a dialogue with an educational provider, it's the same situation. There may be one language that they're most interested in. They may be more open-minded to all of the languages. So it really starts by asking questions and learning as much about the other person to figure out where can you provide a solution. If they have a specific language in mind, we're certainly happy to sit down with that school and come up with a program and tailor it for them and their students that's going to work out both economically and on a time schedule. Because these children, most of them are in school between a certain set of hours, whether it's 8 in the morning till 1 or to 3 o'clock or till 5 o'clock. So it really comes down to being adaptive, to sit down with the educational partner and find something that works for both parties. And in the end, it's the children that come out ahead.
Okay, so this is done after hours. Is that how it is? The program, the Language Stars, is not part of the curriculum, which I think it makes sense. But it's done after, after the regular classes. Is that how?
The answer is both.
Okay.
We have a situation where we can be adaptive, where a school may say, we'd like you to come in during a certain set time, perhaps it's in the morning when the kids are in school, then one of the classes they may go to would be French class. The teacher and the curriculum happens to be provided by Language Stars.
Got it. Okay.
We have a center program, which I am a director of at FAIRFAX, where the children actually may come after school into the FAIRFAX Center, which is a dedicated facility for language learning.
Got it.
So whether the kids are going to the school or they're coming to the center or both, we have many children that do that too, we're happy to provide a quality product that the children can benefit by learning, and the families are very satisfied.
Makes sense. Well, I have to confess that I speak French, I speak English, a little bit of Spanish I can get by. Hello, mañana, I can say that.
Hola, mucho gusto.
Or also, being that I'm from Africa, I speak also the dialect, and it has helped me a great deal. I was in Canada not long ago, in Quebec, so I was very comfortable because I could speak the language easily. And here and there, when I run into somebody speak French, and it's interesting because the bonding goes so rapidly. I got a lady on the phone last time, we were talking, and then she probably perceived that my accent. She said, "Do you speak French?" I said, "Yes." And, she just started speaking French. From there, it was just like, and it's definitely an asset one needs to have.
And isn't that neat? I mean, at the end of the day, being a social world we live in, to get ahead, we have to interact with other people. That's the reality of it. So as we expand internationally and travel, just that ability to make a quick friend, it can get you a place to stay. My personal experience with foreign language has landed me not only employment, places that I can sleep at the end of the night, and I'm actually engaged to be married to a woman from South Korea.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. And she's a wonderful woman. Min Jung, if you're watching this, hello. Hello from Washington, D.C. Hello to South Korea. But Pangapsunida to all my Hanguk Saram Chingu over there. So many friends around the world, Basil. But to sit here with you today and hear a little bit about your background and how foreign languages have played a role in your life, coming from another country to the United States, it just opens up doors. So I really encourage people, whether you're an adult or a child, now is the time to get involved. Learn a language. It's never too late. You can always learn.
He just nearly talked to you too soon. Bye-bye.
This program was brought to you by Organo Gold. Organo Gold is a health and wellness company that provides healthy coffees, teas, and chocolate. All one has to do is consume the available coffee, teas, chocolate, and other products to get all the available benefits. One can also share these products with others to help them improve their health as well.